Watching Dune, you may be caught off guard on a few occasions because of one particular character. In two films that have numerous subdued performances, the Beast Rabban's character stands out like a foghorn on a quiet morning. But there is subtlety to be found beneath all of this bald baby rage. Dave Bautista's performance as Rabban is one I cannot stop thinking about because underneath all of that yelling and bashful violence there lies a fragile man with a turbulent upbringing. Even with so little screen time, Dave Bautista is able to convey so much about this character and the culture he was brought up by. Rabban's rage is a microcosm of the double-edged nature of the Harkonnen rule. Brutality is a mask that hides the fragile infrastructure that is barely holding everything together. In the first Dune, Rabban is one of the first characters shown to the audience. He is this towering figure looking out at the desert as though it is his to control. We then see this seemingly tight hold he has on Arrakis instantly rendered obsolete.
By imperial decree, they were gone.
When we finally hear him speak, he quickly falls into rage.
Give it to that Duke! How?
He retreats into rage as a means of hiding his fear and confusion. He doesn't understand the greater schemes at play, and the act of giving Arrakis to the Atreides revealed to him just how little control he has of his own situation. The awe that Dave Bautista expresses here is almost like that of a child. The Harkonnens see people more as tools rather than as actual individuals. Dune Part 2 shows this in a myriad of ways, but I want to specifically talk about how this is reflected in Rabban. With Arrakis under his control again, Rabban wants to hold a tight grip, but the Fremen and the desert continuously show that this is something he is not capable of. Unable to accept these limitations, Rabban acts out on his underlings at every sign of failure. These episodes of rage are almost played up as comedic, but they highlight just how fragile Rabban truly is. We see him act out more on his own men than any actual adversaries because that violence is the only true authority he has, and he can only exercise it on those he deems weaker. This is something he learned from the leading figure in his life, his uncle, the Baron. When he is brought to speak to his uncle, he appears just as timid as his underlings. The Baron is the one who holds real control, but it is not over Arrakis. It is instead a tight grip on Rabban. Rabban's rage does not do him any favors and only sinks him deeper and deeper into his own doom. He continues to terrorize his underlings, but when it comes time to actually fight those who have threatened his rule, all he can do is run in fear, because fear is all he has ever known. His pawns are thrown out whenever their usefulness runs dry, but he too is only a pawn. His status as Duke of Arrakis is removed, and he is humiliated by his own family. His own brother and uncle treat him the same way he treated his underlings. When the final battle arrives, Gurney is allowed to exact his revenge on Rabban, but there is no glory in this final fight. He has no power even over himself. That is why he falls so quickly. He ended up not being able to control himself because he focused so much on controlling others in the world around him. His veil of rage he constructed to hide his fragility is not like the cunning tactics of the Bene Gesserit or the commanding power of the voice. It is a veil simply born out of fear. And fear is the mind killer, after all. Am I right or am I right? Right?